Look at that. Hey guys, AJ here, back on the one for you. So guys, we all know that these 304s are out here being strong and independent.
I am woman, hear me roar, and numbers too big to ignore.
Clown world, right? And guys, part of the whole strong and independent thing is letting Chad, Nug, Tyrone, Gerardo, Nug Wang shoot up the club, right? And of course, they don't use protection, right? And then guys, what happens? They look down in their panties and they have the Herp-derp, right? They have the HV1 and 2. You know what I'm saying? This is not a game, right? And guys, it's everywhere now. You guys got to be careful. Because guys, they don't care about who they sleep with and who they pass it on to. Can you imagine, guys, you're dating a chick and you're finally gonna get it in and you're getting down and dirty in the bedroom and she just breaks that out on you and all of a sudden it's
Don't touch me, man!
So guys, we're going to dumpster fire known as TikTok and look at these knuckleheaded broads whine about having the Herp-derp. But before we do that, guys, like, subscribe, drop a comment, guys. I have a Discord, check that out. I have a second channel, check that out. Check out the playlist at the end, and let's get into this.
Well, the only reason why I can talk about how I don't spread HSV 1 or 2, well, I don't have one, just 2, but is because, like, I've had my experience for the past couple years, and I've never given it to anybody, and, like, so this is what works for me. Of course, your doctors are going to be like, use condoms, take your medicine, and I do agree. I take the medicine if I'm sexually active and if I have a partner, like, you know, every single time. And then I also just keep myself really healthy and my immune system, and everybody's different, you know, and like little tiny things can like trigger it. So it's really hard to say, but I'm just saying like that's what like works for me, and I know that I'm safe like with my partners. I don't really know how it's gonna be the same for you. So yeah, just let you know.
Look at that, guys. Look at that.
That's nasty.
Hey guys, she said partners plural, right? Look at that, guys. Disgusting.
A pot smoking slut.
Clown world, right? Look at that. Guys, so many of these women have this and they're still out there just smashing. Disgusting. Hey guys, she has 54 comments. Someone says, I just got diagnosed. I'm freaking out. Someone says, do you frequently get flare-ups? Next person says, does anybody else get a pain in your hip during breakouts? Yuck. Disgusting. Guys, you gotta be careful. You guys are hashtags. Hashtag HV2. Hashtag Herp-derp. Hashtag what works. Hashtag information. Hashtag story time. Clown world.
I absolutely love this question. This was a question that I was extremely...
Now, guys, so the question is, how do you and your husband have unprotected, smash time and you haven't transmitted it to him yet? Ugh. Guys, some person married this chick knowing that she had the Herp-derp. Guys,
some people are really fucking stupid.
Clown world.
Concerned about when I found out I had herpes and started dating. Ugh. So we think prior to having herpes that the people with herpes, every time they have sex, or they would always infect somebody. Like every time you have sex, you're contagious. So that's not necessarily true. You're contagious when the virus is active. So when you are having an outbreak or if it's in replication mode. When the virus is active, obviously you would have an outbreak. It would be painful. You would most likely stay away from sex. And then during the shedding period, this is kind of where it gets a little gray. There are no signs, symptoms. You don't know the virus is shedding. But here's the thing, is if you are a female with herpes, you're not using a condom, no antivirals, no outbreak, and you have sex, you have a 4% chance of transmitting herpes to a partner, a male partner. If you're a male with herpes, no condom, no outbreak, no antiviral, you have a 10% chance. I absolutely...
4% is too high. 10% is really too high. Look at that, guys. What would possess these knuckleheads to get on the internet and let the whole world know that they have the Herp-derp, right, guys?
You stupid woman!
Clown world, right? And guys, we all know how they all got it, right?
Y'all want to ask me what I'm doing? I'm outside home.
Guys, this chick's whole platform is about the Herp-derp. Guys, her call sign here, or her name on TikTok, is Life with the Herp-derp. Clown world. A Herp-derp coach. Hey guys, she has 14 comments. Someone says, just so we know, people that are living with the Herp-derp are not always contagious. There are ways to protect yourself. Next person says, most people on Earth have the Herp-derp and don't know it. Please.
You've been had. You've been took. You've been hoodwinked. Bamboozled. Led astray. Run amok.
Look at that. Come on, man. Absolutely insane. Very informative. Thank you.
The lie detector determined that was a lie.
Guys, are hashtags. Hashtag Herp-derp. Hashtag life with Herp-derp. Hashtag cold sores. Ugh. Hashtag day in my life. Hashtag Herp-derp disclosure clown world.
Herpes, I'm going to teach you how to end any feelings of guilt, shame, and stigma that you're feeling in your diagnosis in this video. I'm Adrienne, the Oni nutritionist. I'm a vaginal health nutritionist, and I work with people who live with genital herpes. I have genital herpes as well.
Of course you do.
Years, and I help coach people through their herpes diagnosis, not only giving them information and tools to manage and prevent herpes outbreaks, but I help empower people in their herpes diagnosis so that they can feel confident in themselves again. Feelings of shame and guilt are two of the most common emotions that I see with people who live with genital herpes. A lot of these feelings comes from not knowing better. What I mean by that is people feel so ashamed when they are diagnosed with herpes. They are surprised with a herpes diagnosis because they never ever thought that it would happen to them. The problem is we weren't taught about herpes. We were taught to fear it. We weren't taught properly about how it works, how common it is, and how it is a part of being a sexually active human. Another thing that we didn't learn about herpes is that herpes is transmitted via skin-to-skin transmission, and condoms don't always protect against herpes. You can have sex with one person, one time, do everything right, and still get herpes. Another example is if your partner gets cold sores that were originally non-sexually transmitted, and that partner goes down on you, they can transmit their non-sexually transmitted cold sore to your genitals, resulting in you having genital herpes and having to deal with it so much differently. And this is where a lot of the shame and stigma comes in, because people feel so bad about themselves that they contracted herpes because they didn't know better. Also want to remind you that just because you sleep with somebody that has herpes, that doesn't automatically mean that you're going to get it. I've lived with genital herpes for over 20 years, and knock on wood, I've never given it to anybody. So if you
Guys, who honestly believes that, right? If you think that this broad right here, right, that's this flippant about the Herp-derp, right? Come on, man, right?
You tell her she's a goddamn whore!
If you think she hasn't given it to anyone else in 20 years,
You've been had. You've been took. You've been hoodwinked. Bamboozled. Led astray. Run amok.
You live with herpes and you can relate to this. It's time to forgive yourself and stop being so hard on yourself for not knowing any better, because how would you know if you didn't know? If you are living with herpes and you're struggling in your diagnosis and you need support, I have 3 different ways that I can support you. If you need to talk to somebody who gets it, I offer one-on-one support calls and can help you through any of these feelings and help you feel confident again in your diagnosis. If there's anyone that you can trust, it's me. I've lived with genital herpes for over 20 years and I'm pretty confident in my diagnosis and I can help you get there too. I also have my Healing Herpes Holistically guide. It's like the herpes handbook you never thought you'd need. It is the best resource for you to learn how to manage and prevent herpes outbreaks, prevent transmission to partners, and feel confident in your diagnosis. I also have a herpes support group where we do monthly group support calls. It really helps to be a part of a community with other people who are going through the same things as you are. A herpes diagnosis is not the end of the world. You can still have an amazing life, an amazing sex life with herpes. You just got to navigate it a little differently. And I can help you do that. If there's anybody that you can trust to guide you in your diagnosis, it's me. You can find all of the links in my bio. And read the caption.
look at that, guys. Look at that.
Beta female.
Clown world. Guys, don't listen to any knuckleheads like this. You guys notice she's like, I have 3 solutions and they all cost money. A, I give one-on-ones that cost money. B, buy my book that costs money. And C, my support group costs money. But yeah, guys, give me money. Because I'm the Herp-derp coach. Yay! Right?
You stupid woman!
Guys, this is what these women do. They mess up their lives, right? And they either say that they're going to leave it all up to Jesus, or they're going to make it some journey, right? Now, guys, God has nothing to do with these knuckleheaded herp-derp chicks getting the herp-derp, right? What are you talking about? And I know some of you guys are going to be like, AJ, don't you feel bad for them? They have something that'll never go away. You guys know what I have to say?
I don't remember asking you a goddamn thing.
Guys, you're going to need an adamantium condom in this bad boy, guys. And you wonder why so many guys are not dating at all. At all. Guys, you have to be careful. You have to stay away from this foolishness, man. Absolutely insane. And guys are hashtags, guys. She has a lot of them. Hashtag Herp-derp. Hashtag Herp-derp awareness. Hashtag Herp-derp stigma. Hashtag Herp-derp virus. Hashtag Herp-derp advocate. Hashtag Herp-derp could never. Hashtag Herp-derp viruses. Hashtag Herp-derp simplex. Hashtag Herp-derp dating. Ugh, right? Hashtag Herp-derp disclosure. Hashtag Herp-derp transmission. Hashtag HSV. Hashtag HSV1. Hashtag HSV2. Hashtag HSV awareness. Hashtag living with Herp-derp. Hashtag life with Herp-derp. Hashtag Herp-derp support. Hashtag Herp-derp support group. Hashtag Herp-derp information. Hashtag Herp-derp diagnosis. Hashtag Herp-derp simplex virus 1. Hashtag cold source. Hashtag cold source Herp-derp. Hashtag cold source. Hashtag oral Herp-derp. Guys, clown world. What the fuck is going on? I try to not swear, but what the fuck? Guys, what is going on? What is going on? Guys, these chicks are out here, man, right? And they are trying to, guys, spread this stuff, or they're in denial, right? And guys, they do not care if they end up giving it to you, man. This is not a game, guys. Absolutely insane. And guys, clear battle lines must be drawn between us and these broads.
This is where we hold them. This is where we fight. This is where they die.
Alright, so guys, this is AJ. I appreciate you guys. Like, subscribe, check out the playlist at the end. And guys, I'm out of here. Have a good one, guys.